Hey there everyone, welcome to a new video. This one's another request in the comment section. It's going to be Gary Moore's slow version of Don't Believe a Word, and it's a song I play in many different bands and just a song I know pretty well. In this video we are going to talk about how to play the chords, or the chords that each section is based on, and some embellishments that we can use over the chords, or the little riffs that go on. So let's get to it. So the song starts off with a bass riff, which also plays over the verse. It's this sort of thing. So the timing for when you would come in for that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep that in mind. We can also play this on the guitar. The whole riff is based around A minor. Okay, so we would do something like this. Okay, at the end of it, maybe some of that or this, and you'll hear that when Gary plays this on the track. So yeah, the riff itself is basically 7th fret on the A, then 5th fret on the D and the G. Okay, you don't want any of the notes to bleed in together. You can slightly curl that last note up, not too much though, we don't want it to sound major. And then play some vibrato on the 7th fret of the D. Okay, and then at the end we can go, which is the 5th fret on the G and the B, barred, first finger, then apply some vibrato. So that we can do it that way. Or we can do this instead of the last one. Okay. So there's different things that you can use there, all based over the A minor chord. And there will be a stab before the singing comes in. And then we can play it twice, that riff over the singing, and then we'll go into a D minor 7. And then we go into a C major 7th. And then to a G. So it'll sound like this. Okay, so the notes for the minor 7, in case some people might not be on top of the chords: 5th fret on the A, 7th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G, 6th fret on the B, 5th fret on the high E. So that's the D minor 7. The major 7 here for the C, 3rd fret on the A, 5th fret on the D, 4th fret on the G, 5th fret on the B, 3rd fret on the high E. Good old major 7th chord there. And then finally a G major chord here, the bar chord. Surely you'll know how to play that. But what we can also do, I think I heard Gary play this live by doing this. Sometimes he might go, which is kind of that minor major hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret on the G. Kind of an interesting thing that he does sometimes, but don't worry about it. So then we go A minor, then G, and then it's an F major 7th. Okay, so this little section here, A minor barred. Most of you, pretty much all of you, will know what the notes are for that. And same with the G again. And then we go to an F major 7th. So think about it like a barred F. Okay, but I use my thumb at the bottom note here, so that I can use my first finger just to put onto the 1st fret. I can get it close here. Let's try and get it close. So thumb on the 1st fret, and then these 3 notes here, and then this one here. Then it allows us basically to keep the high E open, which is what we want for the F major 7th. So that's that little section, and then after that it goes back to. Okay, so that is D minor 7, C major 7th, and then G. So that section all together. Okay, these are the chords that you can use to play. Well, these are the chords that go behind this. Some of the chords are not that apparent on the song, but if you listen to some live versions, you'll hear these chords played this way. So after we've repeated the verse once, we'll then lead into this section, which is over an E minor chord for a couple of bars, and then it goes to a D minor. Okay, and the section will sound like this. This is the way I will play it, but you can use some different chords if you're doing, doing this with two guitars. But I would do something like this. Okay, that's exactly how I would play this live. Over the E minor, sometimes Gary will do something like this. So it'll go, the bass will go, and Gary might just go, so that'll be 7th fret on the A and 5th fret on the D. You might just do something like that. That's kind of in the song. But yeah, the way I would play this is exactly the same way as we would play when we were playing it over the A minor, okay? Move that all the way up here to the third finger's at the 14th fret. So I go 14 on the A, 12 on the D and G, and then I hit the 14th fret on the D, and then vibrato on the 12th fret of the G and B. We do this twice. And then I go, which is 14th fret on the A, and then 12, 14, 12 on the D. And then I go here. So the first time we do for the D minor, we go. So then those two notes, just the 10th fret on the G and B, vibrato with the first finger. And then we start going here. Okay, which is basically 12 on the A, 10, 10 on the D and G respectively, and then the 12th fret of the D. Then 10th fret there on the first finger on the D and G. The G and B. Okay, the final time we do that, we'll just go. Yeah. Okay, or which is basically 12 on the A, 10 on the D, and then 7 on the D. Into this riff. Okay, this is basically just a, which is bend up a full tone and down on the 7th fret of the G, pull off and to the 5th fret and do a blues curl. Okay, and then we go 7, 5, 7 on the D. That leads into the guitar solo, which we'll get into the next video. So yeah, again, this section. And that last phrase, sometimes you can even do like a pre-bend and just go, or the full bend, up and down. Whichever way you want to do it, really. Doesn't matter too much. It's just your personal touch. But over the D, he does do this, and sometimes he'll just go, sort of stabs here and there. So it'll be like a sort of thing going on. Have a listen, and you'll hear it in there. But that's if you want to play it kind of exactly like the original. So after the guitar solo, it leads back into the chords. Sometimes you'll hear Gary say over from the D minor to the C major 7, and Gary might do something like this. Stick that in somewhere. Little higher notes you can stick in. He might, just little high inversions or a couple of notes of chords. He'll do a little bit of that. He'll do some stabs and things, but we know the chords. So later on, after the verse, we'll go, all that part, and then it'll go into. Then it will just go and repeat this, okay? At the end, which is basically the A minor, G, and the F major 7. So we'll do that 4 times, but the last time it'll be different, okay? So 3 times of this, 3 times of that, and the final time we'll do something like this. Okay, so we got. Okay, that's the final time. A minor, the top 4 notes. So we have. Okay, 7 on the D, then 5, 5, 5 on the G, B, and E. Then we go here, which is 9th fret on the D, 7th on the G, 8th on the B, and 7th on the high E. Then we have this chord at the end. Some vibrato on it if you can. Basically that is 10 on the D, 9 on the G, 10 on the B, and then little finger 12 on the high E. Now doing vibrato on these chords, by the way, is kind of moving your hands side to side like the classical style vibrato. You can hear it here. It's a very delicate type of thing, really, but yeah, you'll get there. Okay, so the part that just kind of leads to the outro here, or kind of fades out, we just basically got the bass pedaling out on this. That sort of thing, and the other guitars are just kind of doing a question and answer. Sometimes one of the guitars will go like, and the other one will go, okay, so like a, so. All that sort of thing. Sometimes it'll be here, which is like the 5th fret on the G and B to the 7th fret on the D. Sometimes it'll go, as I said, pulling off on the 7th to the 5th on the D. And then sometimes it'll go, okay, which is 7th fret on the G and B, and then 5th fret on the G and B. Vibrato. You just mix it around with these ideas, okay? That sort of thing. You can have a bit of a mess around with all sorts of things there. It's just like something that leads to a fade out. But yeah. Anyway, so next video we'll get to the guitar solo. Let's have fun.